Namaste. So as described in the earlier video, today we are going to see two mantras. One is a Surya mantra and another is a Shanti mantra. So sun or Surya is also called Pratyaksha Devata, a god which you can literally see with your own eyes. Sun represents so many things. So sun represents our soul, sun represents willpower, eyes, the vision to see is also represented by sun, fame, vitality. Sun is also considered to be a father figure. Sun represents courage, authority, power, effulgence, radiance. So it is also actually representing the mind principle at a slightly lower level of discernment, intellect, reasoning, clarity. So as we understand sun as something that gives life to us or something that sustains life and that vitality within us, sun is also called Sarvasakshi Bhutam, one who is observing each and every being, each and everything at all times, at all places. So that is the importance of sun. So as you see, it gives courage, vitality, power. So whenever you are in need of energy, whenever you want to activate, whenever you want to feel vitality, say suppose somebody is in depression or something, they should do Surya mantra. Of course they should consult somebody because there are so many other things that Surya will be doing. The sun also heats up the system. So you have to check your Prakriti, but more or less you can use Surya mantras for activating your system. Today we are going to learn Surya Gayatri mantra. So the words will go like this. Om Adityaya Vidmahe Sahasra Kiranaya Dhimahi Tanno Bhanu Prachodayat. The meaning is, I pray to the God of the gods, the Aditya, and I meditate upon the radiance and effulgence of Sahasra Kirana, 1,000 rays of light. Sahasra here symbolizes infinite rays of light or an unending source of light. I surrender and I seek blessings from Bhanu, the creator of brightness. So these mantras depict the sun which is outside, but as I said, sun also represents our soul, so depicts the light within us as well. We're going to see how to chant it. Like I said, Surya will invigorate and activate you and your system. So when chanted with ekagrata, concentration or focus and devotion, the Surya Gayatri mantra produces a lot of positive, vibrant energy around you. It purifies your mind, strengthens your body, and uplifts you spiritually. Chanting this healing mantra makes one bold and courageous. And this mantra also actually helps in improving the eyesight, or people who have some problem with the eyes or vision, they can also chant this mantra and it will definitely benefit all the diseases related to the eyes as well. So you can chant this mantra only once as we learn, or in the multiples of 9 or 11. So you can chant it 9 times, 11 times, 108 times, 1008 times. These are very powerful energy signatures or patterns. So let's see how to chant the Surya Gayatri. Om. You will repeat after me. In this video, I am going to create some empty space where you can repeat after me, because there are a lot of rules to Vedic chanting and notations. To go into the details of that is beyond the scope of this workshop. But our parampara has always been, it's an oral tradition. So the written texts came much later. When a student learns, they learn first by listening to the sound and recreating that sound. Okay. So when I chant a small part of the mantra, be very, very careful and hear very minutely where I am going down, where I am going up, what intonations am I creating with my voice. Try to exactly replicate that. Okay. Om Adityaya Vidmahe. Repeat it. Sahasrakiranaaya Dhimahi. Tanno Bhanu Prachodayat. So you can actually play this again, the last part, and repeat after me. That's how you will learn correct intonations as well as Uchcharana Shuddhi, the pronunciations, because the language Sanskrit and the sound of it in itself is very powerful. So ensure that you have correct pronunciations as well as intonations as well as the space that you give between the words. So listen carefully and replicate. I will very, very briefly introduce you to how the Vedic chants are done. So, especially in the Yajurveda and the Rigveda tradition, the Vedic chants are fixed in their notations, and there are 3 notes. One becomes the middle note, one the higher note, and one the lower note. Between these 3 notes, we chant the mantra and create a sonic pattern or the sound frequency that affects a specific part of our body, mind and consciousness. So you will see that when I will chant the Shanti mantra, somewhere I am going in a lower note, somewhere I will stay in the middle note, somewhere I will go in the upper note. Some words I will be giving extra pressure, some words will be softer, some words will be shorter, the Dirgha and the Hrasva, and some words will be given a longer duration. So many rules are there. Vedic chanting, to learn that is a detailed study in itself. But today, as I told you, you are going to listen to me carefully and recreate it. So again in this video, what I will do is I will chant a small part and then create a gap where you can repeat after me. So the second mantra we are choosing today is a Shanti mantra. Shanti mantra has become a part of our Upanishadic texts, and a lot of recitations that we do are preceded and then followed by Shanti mantras. These mantras actually what they do is they calm down the mind and rather harmonize the whole system in a way that you feel aligned and therefore you feel calm. So as the Shanti mantras create calmness within you, remember this is a science of vibrations. Those vibrations that are created inside, as I chant them aloud, I also create that in my environment. So it also calms down the environment around you. And often it is seen that the Shanti mantras will end with 3 Shantis. You would have heard that they generally end with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So why 3 Shantis? 3 Shantis depicts peace at different levels. The Adi Bhautik or the physical level, Adhyatmik or the spiritual level or the internal level or the mental level, and Adi Daivik, the divine level or the nature around us, the cosmic level. So Shanti at all levels. So this is how Shanti mantras work. The one that we have chosen today is from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is a very popular mantra and has a beautiful meaning. So I will do the chant first and then I'll tell you a gist or the overall meaning of that mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that is the mantra. We will see later how to chant it as per the Vedic notations. But for now, let us see what is the meaning. So this mantra actually dwells on the concept of infinity that again is discovered in our country. So Purnamadaha Purnamidam, that is the world outside of me, the cosmos is Purna, is full of divine consciousness, is complete in itself, and this, my inner being or my system, is also Purna, full of divine consciousness and complete in itself. You see, I am a complete being. If you see even a small cell, it is a complete structure in itself. It has its own metabolism. And then when you see it at a macrocosmic level, the universe is also a complete system in itself. Now if you understand the concept of infinity, whenever you subtract anything from infinity, what stays is infinite. It doesn't become finite. And when you add something to infinity, it still stays complete and infinite. So that is such a beautiful concept taken in this Shanti mantra. And it says that from Purna is manifested Purna, as in from the fullness of the divine consciousness is this world or my world that is manifested. Taking Purna from Purna, if you subtract anything from infinite, taking Purna from Purna, Purna indeed remains, because divine consciousness is non-dualistic. It is infinite. And then it is followed by Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. For now we are focusing on learning it. Okay, so repeat after me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that is the other mantra that we are taking, and that is a mantra which is very calming in nature. So if you have anxiety, say, or if you have a lot of thoughts constantly going on in the mind, or if there is some kind of unrest, uneasiness, fear, these kind of things where you need to calm down, where you need to focus a little bit, you will use these Shanti mantras. Also, if there is klesha or unrest in the environment of your house or workplace or the space that you are in, you can still do these Shanti mantras and see the effect on the people and the spaces around you when you chant these repeatedly over a period of time. If you have any questions regarding anything of how to chant, why to chant, when to chant, who should chant, you can always ask me and I'll be happy to explain within whatever I have in my knowledge. I will just in one video chant both the mantras completely, so you have a record of both. Okay? So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining me in this series of sessions that we did on the mantra musings, exploring the aspects of sound in Indian culture. Just to recap, in the first session we talked about the fabric of sound, the Nada Brahman and the Shabda Brahman, and we also talked about various ways in which the sound can touch us. In the second session, we talked about various terms like the suktams and the stotrams, the stutis and the sutras and the mantras and the bhajanas. So many terms we understood in that session. And then in the third session, we had an experience of how each of these would feel or sound to our ears, to our heart, and to our whole being. In this final session, as I introduced you to two of the Vedic mantras and how they affect us, I hope you enjoyed these sessions and the journey with me. We will connect again over another series, another time. So till we meet again, this is Mauli Baviskar wishing you all the very best in your journeys into exploring the world of sound. Thank you.